The first time Commander Althea Vire called me a traitor, it was broadcast across the entire orbital council chamber. Her voice cut through the crystalline air like a blade. "Elias Wren of Earth," she said, her silver eyes fixed on me, "you stand accused of betraying the coalition, of selling our defenses to the enemy." The chamber fell silent. Representatives from 12 star systems stared down from their floating platforms. Holographic banners shimmered above us, displaying the insignia of the United Galactic Coalition, symbols I had once sworn my life to protect. I did not speak. I had learned long ago that silence could be louder than denial. Althea, Supreme Commander of the Aurelian Fleet, was revered across the galaxy. Tall, composed, her pale gold armor etched with the history of 1,000 victories, she embodied everything the coalition believed itself to be: disciplined, honorable, unyielding. For her to call someone a traitor was not just an accusation, it was a verdict. And yet, I stood there calmly, my hands clasped behind my back, my expression neutral, because I knew something she did not. The accusation stemmed from the fall of Outpost Theta 9, a listening station on the edge of the Karth Void. The station had gone dark mere hours after I'd been assigned to oversee its encryption upgrade. When Coalition forces arrived, they found the core wiped clean, its defensive protocols dismantled from within. The enemy, the Zalrith Dominion, had struck with surgical precision, as if guided by intimate knowledge. That knowledge, the Council believed, had come from me. "Take him into custody," Althea ordered. Energy restraints snapped around my wrists. As I was led away, I met her gaze one last time. There was fury there, yes, but also something else. A flicker of doubt she did not yet recognize. That flicker would become her undoing. They held me in a containment cell aboard the Coalition flagship Radiant Spear. The walls were transparent alloy, designed to intimidate as much as to imprison. From my cell, I could see stars sliding past as the ship adjusted orbit around Aurelian Prime. I had expected interrogation, perhaps even immediate sentencing. Instead, hours passed. Then a day. On the second cycle, the cell door shimmered open. Commander Althea stepped inside alone. This, more than the accusation, surprised me. "You're either the boldest traitor I've ever met," she said, "or the calmest innocent man in the galaxy." I smiled faintly. I was hoping for a third option. Her eyes narrowed. "You cost us Theta 9. 37 lives." "I saved billions," I replied quietly. She laughed once, sharp and humorless. "That's the kind of lie traitors tell themselves to sleep at night." "Then why are you here?" I asked. "Why not let the Council execute me and be done with it?" She hesitated, just for a moment. "Because," she admitted, "your data trail doesn't make sense." I said nothing. "The encryption keys you uploaded," she continued, pacing slowly. "They were obsolete, decommissioned months ago. Yet the logs show you used them deliberately." "Yes." "If you were selling secrets, why use keys that would immediately flag suspicion?" "Because I wanted to be caught," I said. She stopped pacing. "Explain." I met her gaze. "The Zalrith Dominion has been inside Coalition systems for over a decade. Not as invaders, but as ghosts. Observers. They don't steal everything. Just enough to stay invisible." "That's impossible," she said automatically. "So we believed," I replied. "Until I found the echo." Her curiosity sparked despite herself. "What echo?" "A repeating anomaly in deep space telemetry. Always dismissed as sensor noise. But noise doesn't repeat with mathematical elegance." She folded her arms. "You're saying the enemy has been watching us this whole time?" "Yes." "And Theta 9 was already compromised long before I arrived." Then why sabotage it further? To force the parasite to reveal itself. She stared at me, silent now. The old encryption keys, I continued, were honey. The Zalrith couldn't resist accessing what they believed was a forgotten backdoor. When they did, I embedded a tracer in their extraction algorithm. Her voice dropped. You used Coalition lives as bait. I used a station that was already lost, I said. The attack would have happened regardless. I simply ensured it happened on my terms. Her jaw tightened. You made that decision alone. Yes. And you let me call you a traitor. Yes. Why? Because if the Zalrith knew you suspected the truth, I said, they would vanish again. Permanently. Silence filled the cell. Finally, she said, show me. Accessing classified data without council authorization was treason. But Althea overrode the protocols herself. In a private war room, surrounded by star maps and living light, I activated the hidden stream. The tracer unfolded into a three-dimensional lattice, an alien data architecture threading through coalition space like veins. Althea's breath caught. They're everywhere, she whispered. Listening, I said. Learning. Waiting. For what? For us to destroy ourselves, I replied. Or for them to decide we're no longer useful. She turned to me slowly. If this is true, then everything we know about the war is wrong. It's not a war, I said. It's an experiment. Her hands clenched into fists. The council will never believe this. They don't have to, I said. You do. She studied my face, searching for deception. She found none, only exhaustion, and something like resolve etched deep into me. What do you need? She asked at last. Time, I said. And your curiosity. A faint, reluctant smile touched her lips. You're asking me to betray the council. I'm asking you to save it. Over the following cycles, Althea became my secret ally. Officially, I remained a disgraced traitor awaiting judgment. Unofficially, she fed me restricted intel, fleet movement data, and access to ancient archives no one had touched in centuries. Her curiosity became relentless. Why target humans? She asked one night as we traced Zalrith patterns. Because we're unpredictable, I said. We adapt faster than any other species in the coalition. That makes us dangerous. And you, she asked, why are you willing to burn your name for this? I paused. Because someone has to. As the picture grew clearer, the truth became terrifying. The Zalrith were not preparing an invasion. They were mapping weaknesses, waiting for the perfect moment to collapse the coalition from within using misinformation, false threats, and engineered distrust. They turned us against you, Althea realized softly. Yes, I said. And it worked beautifully. Until her curiosity interfered. When the Zalrith realized their tracer had been discovered, they reacted swiftly. Coalition systems began to fail across multiple sectors. Panic spread. The council demanded immediate action, and my execution. Althea stood before them again, this time alone. I will take responsibility, she declared. Release Elias ran into my command. Outrage erupted. Accusations flew. She did not waver. If I am wrong, she said, you may strip me of rank and life alike. But if I am right, executing him will doom us all. The council voted. Barely. The final confrontation did not happen with fleets and fire, but with truth. Using the tracer, we broadcast a signal not of aggression, but of exposure, projecting the Zalrith's hidden network onto every coalition screen, every civilian relay, every military channel. The ghosts were dragged into the light. Cornered, the Zalrith withdrew, severing their tendrils and fleeing beyond known space. Their experiment had failed. The war never came. Weeks later, my charges were dismissed. Official records listed me as exonerated due to classified circumstances. My reputation, however, was slower to heal. Althea found me on the observation deck of the Radiant Sphere, staring out at the stars. "They still whisper your name," she said. "Traitor."
Hero.
"Both." "I can live with that," I replied. She stood beside me, quiet for a moment. "You knew I would be curious." "I hoped," I said. She turned to me, her silver eyes softer now. "Curiosity saved us. But it cost you everything." I shook my head. "It gave me everything that mattered." She extended her hand. "Then stand with me, Elias Wren. Not as a traitor, not as a shadow, but as the one who saw the truth first." I took her hand. Beyond the glass, the galaxy spun on, fragile, flawed, and finally aware. And for the first time since she had called me a traitor, Commander Althea Vire smiled without doubt, knowing that curiosity, once ignited, could change the fate of worlds.